Usually when someone gets a check-in system in novels, they're instantly showered with luxury cars, mega mansions, and literal mountains of cash. But my system? Nope. My system didn't give me a single dime. Its only function so far was upgrading my physical appearance. Right now, I'm at the university freshman welcome party, silently throwing a pity party for myself in my head. What's the point of this system? I was born broke, and even with a supernatural cheat code, my wallet is still crying for help. What does this system want me to do? Become a supermodel? Live off being a sugar baby for rich people? I can complain all I want, but I still have to keep checking in. After just 1 year of daily check-ins, I had transformed from a country bumpkin into a top-tier, breathtakingly handsome guy. That night, my roommates and I snuck into the freshman welcome party just to get a closer look at the stunning Lily, the school's absolute goddess and the MC of the night. The moment we sat down, a holographic screen, visible only to me, popped up. Ding! Host has received a random check-in opportunity. Without hesitation, I hit the check-in button. Check-in successful. Reward: an Aston Martin, currently parked in the nearby lot. Seeing this, my eyes lit up like high beams. Oh baby, after waiting for what felt like a century, I finally got something good! A smirk of pure excitement crept onto my face. Checking the system's notes, I immediately stood up, ready to sprint to the parking lot. Brad, our dorm chief, grabbed my shirt, looking at me like I was crazy. Bro, where are you going? Lily is about to go on stage. We've waited forever for this. If you leave now, you'll ruin the vibe. But all I could think about was my brand new supercar. School goddess. Who cares about a goddess when I have V12 engine waiting for me? I waved him off and walked out. Just remembered I have a life or death emergency. Catch you later. As my roommates watched me leave in a hurry, Timmy, the youngest in the dorm, muttered, "What the heck is more important than looking at pretty girls?" A few minutes later, I arrived at the parking lot outside the campus. From a distance, I spotted the pristine white Aston Martin. The car's body sparkled under the streetlights like it was standing on its own red carpet, effortlessly drawing the envious and jealous glares of every passerby. I couldn't help but whistle. Man, an Aston Martin! Just looking at this thing increases my cool factor by 1000%. Overjoyed, I pressed the unlock button on the key fob. The car let out a mesmerizing chirp, its headlights flashing quickly like a sleeping beast, suddenly opening its glowing eyes, ready to pounce. I opened the door and slid into the driver's seat. It hugged my body perfectly. The comfort was unreal. Glancing at the interior, it featured dark gray carbon fiber accents. Minimalist, but screaming, "I cost more than your life." I started the engine, itching to hit the main road and feel its raw power. But right as I merged onto the street, I hit a red light. Like a good law-abiding citizen, I stopped. That's when I noticed a brand new Porsche parked not too far away. The girl behind the wheel immediately caught my eye. She had long hair tied in a loose ponytail, revealing a small oval face. Her beauty was pure and incredibly adorable. Her eyes were like a startled deer covered in a thin layer of morning mist, giving off a helpless, girl-next-door vibe that instantly triggered anyone's protective instincts. The older girl in the passenger seat was currently frowning and nagging. "Chloe, you need to be careful. Check your mirrors. Look at your surroundings." She even tapped the glass to emphasize her point. Chloe, the driver, turned her head. She looked obedient on the outside, but her expression said she was internally screaming, "My sister is such a nag!" She nervously gripped the steering wheel, eyes fixed straight ahead. Her sister, Mia, kept talking non-stop until Chloe's brain was practically frying. Just as Chloe tried to shift slightly to escape the noise, Mia's eyes widened. She screamed, "Brake! Brake now, Chloe!" Chloe slammed on the brakes with all her might, but it was too late. The Porsche lost control and, bam, crashed right into the back of my car. I was literally just chilling, listening to music, and enjoying my new ride when the car shook violently, throwing me forward. I looked in the rearview mirror. Are you kidding me? Day one, and I've already been rear-ended? In the car behind, Mia quickly recovered from the shock. After making sure her little sister wasn't hurt, she prepared to unleash a lecture of epic proportions. But Chloe frantically covered Mia's mouth. The more Chloe thought about it, the more frustrated she got, eventually playfully pinching her sister to make her stop talking. Mia finally surrendered. Chloe looked at the curves of my supercar. Knowing she was entirely at fault, she took a deep breath and stepped out of her car. She was trying to be brave, but she looked terrified. I walked over to her. She immediately bowed her head, apologizing with utter sincerity. "I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at driving. I've caused you so much trouble." Right then, the system popped up. Ding! Random check-in opportunity triggered. I hit it instantly. Check-in successful. Received a 5x God-tier random reward bundle. Rewards include Villa number 1 at the Imperial Gardens, a Bugatti Veyron, the small goal of 10 days skill, the ultimate freeloader skill, and the God-tier cashback skill. Note on cashback skill: if a beauty with a score over 95 spends money on you, you will receive a random multiplier cashback. Seeing me space out, Chloe thought I was boiling with rage. Panic set in. She quickly stammered, "It's all my fault. I'll take full responsibility." Mia got out of the car and suggested we handle it through insurance. Chloe came over to discuss it with me, and I simply nodded in agreement. She immediately called the insurance company, and we moved to the sidewalk to wait. Feeling incredibly guilty, Chloe ran to a nearby convenience store and bought me a bottle of water. The moment I took the bottle, the system chimed. Ding! Top-tier beauty has spent $2 on you, triggering the million multiplier. Cashback. 2,000 has been transferred to your account. My mood instantly flipped from gloomy rain clouds to bright sunshine. I opened the bottle and took a slow, satisfying sip. Seeing me relax, Chloe finally let out a sigh of relief. It was only then that she actually looked at me and realized, wow, he's really handsome. The insurance agent arrived, took one look at the heavily dented rear of the Aston Martin, and his face turned the color of a ghost. He immediately suggested calling in an independent appraiser. We agreed, and the tow truck hauled my poor, short-lived car away. Chloe apologized to me one last time and asked for my contact info to discuss the repair costs later. We added each other on a messaging app, and the two sisters left. At that moment, my phone buzzed with a bank notification. Looking at my balance shooting from a measly $100 to $2 million, on the outside, I played it cool, like James Bond ordering a martini. On the inside, I was breakdancing on the ceiling. While I was drowning in joy, my phone rang again. It was a local number. I picked it up, and the person on the other end introduced herself as the property manager of Imperial Gardens, asking when I would arrive. Oh right, the mansion I just got. Since my car was currently sitting in a junkyard timeout, I told her I'd take a taxi. The manager said she'd wait at the main gate. I hung up, flagged down a cab, and gave the address. Hearing the destination, the driver slammed the gas pedal like he was launching a rocket. On the way, the driver couldn't stop talking. Man, Imperial Gardens is insane. They built this whole road just for that neighborhood, and it's wider than the main highway. Not a speck of dust anywhere. Only big shots live there. The cheapest villas are tens of millions, and the top-tier ones? Over $1 billion. You can't even buy one just by having money. Then he looked at me through the rearview mirror with burning curiosity. So, what are you going there for? A job interview? Meanwhile, at the Imperial Gardens main gate, the property staff was preparing an emergency, red carpet-level welcome ceremony for the owner of Villa Number 1. The head of security ordered everyone to double-check every detail. Anna, the property manager, stood there in her perfectly tailored black suit holding a contract folder. Her classic outfit only highlighted her stunning figure, making her stand out like a glowing beacon. Her colleagues invited her to wait in the shade, but she stubbornly refused, stating that the owner of Villa Number 1 was too important to risk any mistakes. So when Anna suddenly ran towards a stopping taxi, her colleagues were dumbfounded. No wonder she became a manager at such a young age. With that level of dedication, getting promoted is a given. The taxi had rolled up slowly. The girl standing by the gate looked at it in utter confusion. Only luxury cars go in and out of here. Seeing a taxi is like seeing a unicorn. But the next second, Anna's eyes lit up and she sprinted toward it. Inside the cab, the driver saw the elaborate welcome setup and the giant welcome home banner. His eyes bulged out of his head. Villa Number 1! I've never even heard of it being sold. The price must be astronomical. He kept glancing at the banner, thinking, whoever bought this must have enough power to move mountains. His respect for the mysterious owner shot through the roof. The car stopped. I looked at the massive, majestic neighborhood gates, pulled out my phone, and scanned the QR code to pay the fare. Just as I looked up, Anna was already at the door. Her uniform hugged her curves but couldn't hide her natural elegance. It was a very eye-catching sight. Anna adjusted her clothes slightly, opened the door for me, and greeted me with a voice sweeter than honey. Hello, you must be Mr. Felix? I nodded. Seeing my confirmation, Anna froze. Her beautiful eyes were filled with absolute shock. This guy is the owner of Villa Number 1? He looks like he's barely 20. Who on earth is he? It made sense why she was shocked. As a manager here, she knew exactly how special Villa Number 1 was. It had the best location, the best feng shui, and was crafted by master designers. Countless billionaires had tried to buy it, but failed because they didn't have enough status. That's why it had remained empty. Anna and her colleagues had tried to guess what the owner would look like. Probably some bald, chubby billionaire with a cigar. They never expected a breathtakingly handsome guy fresh out of college, but Anna was a professional. She quickly swallowed her shock, bowed slightly, and said politely, Mr. Felix, I have the ownership contract for Villa Number 1 right here. Please sign it, and I will personally give you a tour and help you settle in. Her sweet voice rang out clearly. The taxi driver heard it, and his entire body went stiff. Wait, what? This kid is the owner of Villa Number 1? He took a deep breath, looking at my face as if I were an alien. If you're that filthy rich, why are you taking a darn taxi? Ignoring the driver's existential crisis, I stepped out of the car. My eyes landed on Anna, who was still bowing. Even though her uniform was buttoned to the top, because I was so tall, looking down gave me a rather spectacular hidden view. I raised an eyebrow, thinking, Manager Anna is definitely going places in her career. Mr. Felix, please follow me. Anna guided me toward the property office. Since I didn't drive, she had a customized golf cart ready to take me straight to the villa. On the way, I took in the layout. Imperial Gardens truly lived up to its top-tier reputation. The landscaping was unique, clearly the work of a master. From a distance, I could tell Villa Number 1 was different. It sat with its back to a mountain, facing a beautiful artificial river. Across the river was the neighborhood's largest garden. The scenery was flawless, filled with rare blooming exotic flowers. The golf cart stopped. Anna hopped out, ran to open the massive front doors and bowed again. Mr. Felix, please come in. I nodded and walked in with the confidence of a king. We passed through the massive courtyard. The flowers were blooming like shy maidens, and not a single speck of dirt could be found anywhere. Everything was perfectly maintained. I'll record your biometric data now. Please wait a moment. Anna worked efficiently, and soon my fingerprints were registered. I placed my finger on the scanner, and the heavy doors clicked open. The grand hall was brilliantly lit, utilizing natural light perfectly. It felt incredibly relaxing. The interior decor was styled like a European palace, luxurious to the extreme, right down to the smallest ornaments. Anna walked behind me, occasionally explaining the features. I listened while soaking in the sheer wealth of the place. This truly is the #1 villa. Mr. Felix, I am also the exclusive manager for your villa, Anna said respectfully. I'll be handling the cleaning and any other arrangements. If you need anything at all, just let me know, and I'll handle it immediately. I nodded. Sounds good. Just then, my phone rang. I checked the caller ID and answered. After listening to the delivery guy, I said, I'll send you the address. Just drop the cargo here. I gave him the Imperial Gardens address. Anna waited for me to hang up before saying, Mr. Felix, if you don't need anything else right now, I'll head back to the office to finalize your registration and grab some supplies. Please rest up. Once I gave the okay, she bowed and left. I continued exploring every corner of my new mansion, eventually heading to the master bedroom to take a quick shower. Not long after, the villa doors opened again. Anna walked in holding a stack of documents that needed my physical signature. Not seeing me, she stood in the first floor hall, organizing her papers. That's when I walked downstairs after my shower, feeling thirsty and looking for some water. Hearing footsteps, Anna looked up. Our eyes locked. I was only wearing a towel wrapped loosely around my waist. My upper body was completely bare, putting my muscles on full display. Anna stared at my abs, freezing in place, before her face turned the shade of a ripe tomato. His physique is insane, she thought. Not just the perfect six-pack and obliques, but there wasn't a single ounce of excess fat. Remembering how I looked in clothes, the classic lean in a suit, ripped when naked build, she couldn't help but let her eyes linger for an extra second before panicking. Felix, she squeaked. Seeing her there, I was slightly startled too. I didn't expect her back so fast. Oops, sorry about that, I said smoothly, turning around and heading back to my room. After getting properly dressed, I came back down. Anna was still standing in the living room, head bowed, pretending to look at her papers. But internally, she was replaying the scene on a loop. Just thinking about my perfect physique made her face burn even hotter. She couldn't resist using her hand to fan herself. While she was drowning in embarrassment, her phone rang. It was a call from the main office. Hello? What is it? She answered quickly. After listening closely, she said, Wait a moment, let me ask Mr. Felix. Without hanging up, she turned to me. Mr. Felix, there's a large transport truck at the main gate saying they have a delivery for you. Should we let them in? Hearing this, a smirk appeared on my face. I nodded. Yep, let them in. Anna quickly approved it, checked her watch, and walked out to wait in front of the villa. Soon a massive transport truck rumbled up. The driver hopped out and approached me. Hello, you must be Mr. Felix, he asked. I nodded. He handed me some paperwork and began shouting orders at his crew to unload the cargo. Careful, a little to the left, gently. They slowly lowered 2 massive tarp-covered boxes. Anna walked up beside me, pointing at the massive crates with utter confusion. Mr. Felix, what on earth did you order? Before I could answer, the workers broke down the crates, revealing 2 large objects covered in sleek fabric. Judging by the shape, Anna's eyes went wide. These are cars. I stood there with my arms crossed, knowing exactly what these were. The 2 supercars from my check-in rewards. Even under the covers, their aggressive, sharp silhouettes were breathtaking. A smile crept up to my eyes. I walked over, grabbed the edge of the first cover, and yanked it off. A Lamborghini Veneno was revealed to the world. The silver-gray body looked absurdly expensive, gleaming with a unique luster under the sun. It was like a silver phantom exuding an irresistible magnetic pull. Instantly, it became the center of everyone's attention. I pressed the key fob. The scissor door slowly swung upward in a pose of pure arrogance and elegance. Looking at the beast, I nodded in satisfaction. Then I walked to the second cover and pulled it off. A dazzling, fiery red frameless supercar appeared. It sat silently but radiated an overwhelming charisma, looking better than any prop in a Hollywood blockbuster. It was like a seductive supermodel. You couldn't take your eyes off it. Even parked next to the Veneno, it held its own. Beside me, Anna slapped both hands over her mouth to stop herself from screaming. She took a massive breath, her eyes practically popping out of her skull. No wonder he took a taxi. His cars just hadn't arrived yet. This is the true owner of Villa #1. Looking at the supercars, her mind was blown into a million pieces. Seeing me get into the car, she snapped out of it and practically sprinted to open the massive garage doors for me. I smoothly drove both beasts into the garage. I didn't get out right away, taking a moment to admire the interior. Right in the center of the dashboard was an obscenely expensive Hublot clock. The interior materials were absurdly pricey carbon fiber and titanium. It featured holographic touchscreens, allowing me to control the car with simple hand gestures. I played around with it, falling more in love by the second. This is peak engineering. Compared to the Aston Martin that got rear-ended yesterday, this was on another planet. Satisfied, I turned off the screen and hopped into the Lamborghini Veneno. Firing it up sounded like waking an ancient dragon. The power was intoxicating. My only regret was that the driveway was too short to test its top speed. After admiring my new toys, I stepped out and headed back to the villa. Anna followed closely behind. Seeing that I hadn't brought much luggage, she suggested, "Mr. Felix, we offer a bespoke tailoring service for our residents, featuring exclusive designs from top luxury brands. Would you be interested?" Hearing this, I could truly appreciate the premium service of Imperial Gardens. I nodded. "Sure, thanks for the trouble." "No trouble at all. Please wait a moment." Anna quickly went to the storage room, brought out a measuring tape, and prepared to take my measurements. I fully cooperated, raising my arms to make it easier for her. Anna measured me with intense focus. Because we were standing so close, she occasionally brushed against my rock-solid muscles. The heat radiating from my body made her cheeks flush a deep pink. After getting my chest and waist size, she squatted down to measure my legs. I casually looked down and, well, my heart skipped a beat. The view was definitely premium. Watching her work so diligently, I thought, this is top-tier service. Honestly, thank God the property management ordered high-quality uniforms. Those buttons were doing the Lord's work, holding on for dear life. Once she finished, she stood up. "Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Felix." "Thanks for your hard work, Anna," I replied. She quickly waved her hands, bowing respectfully. "You're too polite, Mr. Felix. It's my job. Thank you." Hearing her sweet, formal voice, I smirked slightly. "Stop calling me Mr. Felix all the time. We're about the same age. Just call me Felix." Anna was slightly taken aback, but she nodded with a shy smile. "Yes, Felix," she said her goodbyes and hurriedly left the villa. Once outside, whatever she was thinking about made her stop and look back at the mansion. Her beautiful face was flushed red, and a subconscious, radiant smile bloomed on her lips, like a spring flower, mesmerizing and enchanting. She felt incredibly happy today, her steps practically bouncing as she headed back to the office. I spent the rest of the evening exploring every nook and cranny of the villa before going to sleep. The next morning, I woke up early, headed to the garage and picked a car to drive to the university. Not wanting to cause a riot, I parked it in a public lot just outside the campus and walked the rest of the way. Looking up at the sky, I muttered, "Weather changes fast around here. Yesterday was sunny, today looks like a gloomy apocalypse." I quickly walked into my classroom. The moment I stepped through the door, my dorm chief, Brad, yelled, "Yo, Felix is here!" I walked over to our group. Timmy, the youngest, immediately gave up his seat for me. As soon as I sat down, Brad leaned in, his face full of mysterious gossip. "Bro, you missed out big time yesterday." Lily was under the stage lights, looking like an actual angel descended from heaven. It made my heart stop. Mentioning Lily immediately hyped up the rest of the roommates. They started chattering nonstop, praising her to the heavens, their faces full of lingering infatuation. Brad finally snapped out of his fanboy trance and looked at me suspiciously. "Where did you even go yesterday? You ditched the school goddess and didn't even come back to the dorm. That is so not you." I nodded calmly and dropped a bomb. "I'm moving out of the dorms." Everyone froze. Their eyes widened like saucers. "Moving out? Where are you going?" they chorused. Timmy scratched his head and yelled, "Felix! Is it because of what we said yesterday? We were just joking around, we didn't mean it." Brad tried to do damage control. "Yeah man, you're as straight as an arrow, no way you're gay." I looked at them blankly, a small smirk playing on my lips. "I thought about what you guys said. Trust me. My new arrangement is very interesting." After a bit more banter, the topic inevitably shifted back to Lily. While I was pretending to pay attention to the lecture, a flash of light crossed my vision, and the system's voice echoed in my head. "Ding! Congratulations! Day 2 reward from the small goal of 10 days skill has arrived. Please check your status." I pulled up the system interface in my mind. Name Felix, age 21, height 183 centimeters, appearance 95, aura 96. Seeing my updated bank balance, my mouth twitched into a smirk. This small goal skill is absolutely insane. The class flew by. The professor assigned homework and left. The students immediately packed up and sprinted out of the building, like bees fleeing a burning hive. Reaching the entrance, the guy at the front groaned, "Are you kidding me? Look at this rain!" My roommates and I walked out to see a massive downpour. The rain was relentless. Brad checked his phone and his face turned pale. "The forecast says it's only going to get worse." Timmy decisively threw his textbook over his head, waiting for a chance to make a run for it. The others looked at each other in despair, trying to figure out a game plan. One guy next to us tried the book shield method and bolted, but within seconds, his clothes were soaked. Shivering, he realized turning back was pointless and sprinted toward the dorms through the flood. Most of the students were trapped in the lobby, staring at the rain with faces full of absolute defeat. On the other side of the building, Chloe had just finished her class. Holding her books, she stepped out, sighed at the heavy rain. "If I hadn't crashed my car yesterday, I could just drive home right now." Hearing people complain around her, she thought about how nice it would be to have a car to help out. Too bad hers was in the shop. Luckily, she was the responsible type who checked the weather app, so she had an umbrella in her bag. She patted it, feeling relieved. While letting her mind wander, she scanned the crowd and suddenly spotted me. Tall, insanely handsome, standing out like a sore thumb. Chloe froze, her mouth slightly open in surprise. "Isn't that the guy I crashed into yesterday? We go to the same school?" Seeing me, she felt a wave of embarrassment and wanted to pop her umbrella and run. But seeing me stuck without an umbrella, her guilt flared up again. He doesn't have his car because of me, and he doesn't have an umbrella either. Chloe bit her lip, hesitating. Then, as if making a life-altering decision, she gripped her umbrella tightly and walked toward me. Suddenly, the crowd around me started buzzing. The guys who were about to run into the rain stopped dead in their tracks, mesmerized by a figure approaching. Chloe was walking through the crowd. She wore a white lace dress, her long black hair cascading down her shoulders. With light makeup on her oval face, her beauty was absolutely radiant. Even in the gloomy rain, she was the brightest thing around. The white lace made her look so pure, her aura even stronger than yesterday. Every eye locked onto her. You could hear the collective gasp from the crowd. The guys started whispering excitedly. As she walked closer, the Red Sea naturally parted for her. Brad and the guys saw her too. Looking at her flawless face, they couldn't help but stare unblinking. Brad, hyped beyond belief, nudged me. Felix, look, it's Chloe! You missed Lily yesterday, do not miss looking at Chloe today. Chloe was so pretty she was often compared to Lily. Brad stepped aside, making a path for her. He, like everyone else, assumed she was just going to open her umbrella and walk away, leaving them all in a state of unrequited longing. But instead, Chloe stopped right in front of me. She offered a gentle, breathtaking smile. Felix, the rain is really heavy. Do you want to share my umbrella? Those words froze the entire lobby. It was like someone hit the pause button on reality. Eyes darted wildly between me and Chloe. What is happening? Who is this guy? Did the school goddess just invite him under her umbrella? In that exact second, the sound of 100 male hearts shattering echoed in the spiritual realm. The guys glared at me with pure, unadulterated hatred. If looks could kill, I'd be a pile of ash. To make it worse, Chloe was looking at me with a shy, blushing face, her eyes sparkling like a girl falling in first love. It instantly triggered everyone's protective instincts, making the emotional damage to the crowd 100x worse. Brad and my roommates dropped their jaws so hard they practically hit the floor. They rubbed their eyes in disbelief. What the heck? Since when does Felix know Chloe? And she's sharing her umbrella? Has he been secretly dating the school goddess? While their brains short-circuited, I paused for a second, then nodded naturally. Sure. I took the umbrella from her and we walked out into the rain together. Without looking back, I gave a lazy wave to my roommates. That casual wave was the spark that ignited the powder keg. The crowd lost their absolute minds. That arrogant jerk! Taking our goddess wasn't enough, he has to mock us too. My roommate snapped out of it and started cursing too. Felix, you traitor, you've been dating Chloe and hiding it from us? No wonder he didn't care about looking at Lily yesterday. He already had a goddess on his arm. If you don't tell your bros you have a girlfriend, you're dead to us. Timmy suddenly stopped cursing and looked at the group. Wait, yesterday Felix didn't come back to the dorm. Do you think he was staying with Chloe off campus? The group went dead silent. Remembering I said I was moving out of the dorms, oh my god, it's real. Realizing their beloved goddess had been stolen right under their noses, the collective wailing and gnashing of teeth reached biblical proportions. Meanwhile, Chloe and I were walking under a single umbrella. My tall frame shielded her from the wind. Being this close, the atmosphere grew incredibly warm. Chloe's face was flushed red, she was biting her lip, her eyes darting nervously. This was the first time she had shared an umbrella with a guy, and her heart was beating like a drum. I noticed she was intentionally tilting the umbrella toward me. Her shoulder was getting wet, the white lace clinging slightly to her skin. Without thinking, I wrapped my arm around her shoulder and pulled her closer. The sudden movement startled Chloe, causing her to stumble right into my chest. She felt the solid, rock-hard muscles hidden under my shirt. Her face felt like it was on fire. From a distance, the broken-hearted mob saw this. Their rage skyrocketed into the stratosphere. Is he doing this on purpose? If you're going to be lovey-dovey, do it in private. Stop torturing us single dogs. Chloe isn't even fighting back. This is a public declaration of love. I can't take it anymore. My heart is bleeding. Even though we were far away, the shouting still reached us. Chloe heard it and panicked, trying to wiggle out of my grip. I leaned down and whispered, if I cover you like this, your shoulder won't get wet. That simple sentence